When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't outtrain her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Hashtag no music, no intro. Another episode of Hashtag Saints Twitter podcast coming at you, and it's kind of a cool down period, I would say, right now in the NFL, in free agency. But Ryan and I wanted to do this episode and just kind of do a quick recap. And again, I think it is important for us, especially us, to acknowledge how well the Saints have done in this free agency with their cap situation. An immense amount of kudos goes to Khai Harley. He's obviously he's the engine that runs everything in terms of the cap gymnastics, man. But I feel like this year especially, he's been stellar,
working. I mean, he has to sit there. I mean, think about it. They had 3 players, pretty much, well, really 2, to take pay cuts. 3 of you include Michael Thomas.
Right.
That's hard to do, bro. Players don't like doing that shit, bro. Nobody does, honestly.
Nobody
These
does.
players, bro. They will. I mean, when the Titans player, they tried to get him to take one of his safety, Byard. Fuck that. Yeah, he no, no, I'm not doing it. And put 3 times on.
And that's like a former All-Pro who still is a very good player,
right? That's and that looks bad on the team. So for the these players, the quality to just take and do that, and for him, for the Saints to negotiate that, man, it's kind of crazy. And shit, like you say, Khai Harley, bro, boy, been working, man. The shit he doing with the cap, and the stuff. I swear, I don't know, I can't prove this, but the ghost years thing, the voidable years that the Saints do, I swear we started that shit, bro.
I am positive we did, bro.
I'm positive, bro, because I've never seen that shit before. We had 3 years, but they void on day 3 of the fun. What the hell?
Here, just what's going to the thing about players taking pay cuts. I think yes, it is a hard thing to do. I do think not just the Saints, but other teams in general has been lucky in this round of free agency, just in the sense of the market is greater, bro. It is, unless you're I would say an offensive lineman, but like I look at the deal that Orlando Brown signed. Like that's not
No,
an
it wasn't.
outrageous. It's not outrageous.
No, no, it wasn't crazy at all.
He's a left tackle. So from that perspective, if you're a player, obviously, usually if a team approach you to take a pay cut, if you don't take a pay cut, then you usually get released, and that's why we saw a mini fire sale from the
Yeah,
Vikings, right? Like the
right.
Vikings, like, oh, you want pay cut? Yeah, no, release.
Right.
Uh, but like perfect example, Andres Pete. I'm sure they approached him and said, hey man, you've had injuries last couple of years. We still want you back. We don't want to create another hole at guard, but because of all these injuries and blah blah, we just got a little bit off the top. And if you're him and his agent, you gotta look at it like, okay, well, if I say no, if I hit free agency, like shit, is that am I gonna get paid a 1 year deal from a team more than what I would take a pay cut, and then you gotta move, like you gotta weigh it all out.
And he isn't he coming off an injury?
Yes, he is. So at that point, the team has leverage too.
Right. So it's like, bro, you might just sit out there for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, but still, he took. You get $5 million. It's like, damn. Like that's a pill, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even for a player, that's a pill to swallow. But man, Pete, you better take that 5, bro.
I got 5 on it.
Take that 5, boy. Shit, you've been eating good.
Good. And listen, as much as we've joked about Pete on this podcast, on and off throughout the years, or even, we were saying jokes about Pete, on Saint Stop podcast years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is. The fact that he is still on the team, he took a pay cut. As a team, you're not creating another hole. Like, will he be injured at some point next season? Absolutely.
Of course.
Yes. Of course. Pete go Pete, bro.
Pete go Pete.
But at least it doesn't create like a gaping hole where you feel like, okay, now this is another like a need that needs to be filled.
Right.
So I just wanted to do a quick kind of just go through the moves really quickly up to this point that the Saints have made, and we can just go over and talk about them, talk about a little bit. We'll on the medical staff with the Foster Moreau news that came out today, and then we're talking about a little bit about the draft to close out the podcast. We just wanted to get something out. I'm going to be out of town, be in Texas visiting family next couple of days, so we kind of wanted this to be out there before I left, before I left, so we're not leaving our listeners hanging. But so February 27th, I am citing NOLA.com because they have this running tracker that's just a nice, easy place that has all the moves that has been made in free agency. It's February 27th. They re-signed Tannen Passingo. I'm not even dealing with it right now. I'm not dealing with it. 2-year, $60 million deal, depth signing. It would be nice. It would be really nice if he could be the player he was in year one when he signed 2 seasons ago. And maybe some of that is injury and things like, he was injured, but like he was a good player his first year here. And we haven't seen that since, but again, good depth signing at the very least. Then the big move, getting Derek Carr in the fold, checking off the biggest question mark of the offseason in regards to quarterback, that got taken care of. They brought back JT Gray March 10th, a special teamer, $3 million deal, 3-year deal, $9.6 million. And then I wanted to just go back to the Derek Carr. It's a 4-year, and all these are deals, quote unquote, but like you should know by now that what the deal is reported isn't what the actual deal is, but we just go in with the deal is reported just for sake of being easier. So the Derek Carr deal is 4-year, $150 million, $100 million in total guarantees. So that started March 6th. That was like the big kickoff. Then March 11th, couple of days after the Derek Carr news, the move that we were really hoping that they would do, they re-signed or they extended Juwan Johnson a 2-year, $12 million deal, $8.5 million guaranteed. That's something we had harped on even throughout the regular season. That got taken care of. They lost David Onyemata to the Falcons. They lost Shaw Tuttle to the Panthers. They lost Caden Ellis to the Falcons. I have been hinting at that for months. They quote unquote lost Marcus Davenport to the Vikings. That was a cause of celebration. Deontay Hardy signs with the Bills. That was cause of celebration. And then kind of the big day was last week on the 15th. Payday, by the way, for me. So it was double big day. Started off, signed a defensive tackle, Nathan Shepard of the Jets, 3-year, $50 million deal. Followed that up quickly after signing free agent Kalen Saunders, formerly of the Chiefs, $3 million, 3-year, $14.5 million deal. Then the one that kind of came out of left field, wasn't expecting it, but really kind of put the bow on everything. Signed free agent running back Jamal Williams, 3-year deal, $12 million, $8 million in guaranteed. From Detroit, or he was a free agent. His last team was Detroit. And then they brought back Blake Gilligan. We didn't even talk about that the last time we did a podcast episode. And then most recently, they signed a defensive back, cornerback, safety, Lonnie Johnson on a 1-year deal. Former team was the Titans. A depth signing of offensive tackle Storm Norton of the Chargers. I think that is just that. I think that is exactly what it is, a depth signing, as well as them signing Jonathan Abram of formerly of the Seahawks, and then they re-signed Malcolm Roach yesterday. Whew.
It's work, boy.
It is, man.
To start the season, to start the off season being what, $57 million over the cap, and get all that done, bro. Jesus,
That's insane.
That's insane, bro. That's insane. Because they remember last year, it was quiet when free agents started, man. It was like, are the Saints going to do something? And then they started making trade moves and stuff, and they made a few moves here and there, but it was a quiet offseason last year.
It was, man.
This
It
season,
really was.
Obviously the biggest one is, Derek Carr, man, because that was a must. Like, obviously, quarterback was a must-have, and they pushed all their chips into Derek Carr. According to reporting, like, once he got benched, 3 weeks left in the season, and, due to the whole contract issue, they had their target sighted on him, and that was going to be the move. Like, it was all the chips are there, and if that failed, would have been Garoppolo or Andy Dalton back or something like that. But it had to be Carr. It had to be, and for them to just to sew that up and get it done, props to them. Got to give props where it's due, man, because it could have fell through either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, something could have messed up, but they made sure. They made sure it happened. If they had to overpay a little bit, they had to bet against themselves or negotiate against themselves, whatever. Still at the end of the day, when I look at the contract, man, once Burrow gets paid and
Herbert, like that contract
Hurts, he's gonna be like the 16th highest paid quarterback, and he's like about the 16th best quarterback. Right. So like, okay, it fits, And look, the Saints started. He's counting like $7 million against the cap this year. So he's not like people. Oh, you can't sign it. No, he's not preventing any Saints from signing anybody right now. So
nobody, bro, nobody.
So it was a good, solid move that took quarterback off the worry list. So now they can focus on other things. And honestly, what we talked about the most was, trying to retain players, and for them to just, get Juwan Johnson off that list and, sign him to like a 2-year extension. That was just lovely to see. Just lovely to see. because he's gonna be a part, man. Like he could have a Pro Bowl type season if
I
everything
really
goes
believe,
right.
I really believe he can. I
Yeah.
do, and I think, and we'll get into the medical aspect of it because I have some thoughts about that. But for me, and let me phrase this correctly, 100%, am thankful that Foster Moreau that got discovered of the Hopkins lymphoma, so he can start getting the treatment that he needs, all that, right? But for had that if that wasn't known, right, and let's say he didn't have, obviously we hope that cancer goes away. To me, like that signing or a signing similar to that really would have put the complete bow on free agency for me, because at that point, and they can still maybe they can get maybe there's a player of similar ilk that they could sign at the tight end position or what have you, or even maybe like a wide receiver. But like to me, it's like, okay, now April 27th comes on Thursday, man. You could just be sitting back, when you're about to get some bomb ass head, you just put your hands behind your back, legs out, and you just push back, and you just chilling, bro. Like, and not to say that they can't do that now, right? Like,
Right.
they have, for the most part, addressed needs across the board, and a move that was not listed in here, which could be a huge move that pays dividends, is the whole we working on Michael Thomas's contract and him coming back on a 1-year deal. That's not listed on the NOLA transactions, because I guess that was like an actual quote unquote transaction. That was a huge move in itself. They have checked off a lot, if not all of the boxes of needs that they needed to this offseason. We have been at times relentless in our, criticism of how the DA era has been. Although we were critical of Sean, we critical of, like we call it like we don't care who the coach is, but they have an opportunity, and I really do believe. We'll talk about the draft later in depth. I really do believe. I just have a feeling, kind of just the buzz I'm getting, and we'll talk about it with Tony Pauline in a couple of weeks, and really dive into the draft. I really just get a feeling that they will go defensive line at 29. Whether it's a tackle or it's an edge, I don't know. And honestly, I don't care as long as the player is good. But let's just say, right? Let's just say there's a player that is in their cloud that just happens to fall to 29, and it's not an edge player, it's not a defensive tackle. Let's say it's Michael Mayer of Notre Dame, right? I think that's a good example to use. Man, you as an organization, thus far you've checked off so many needs where you can be like, you know what, man, we can draft best player available right now, and at 40 we can circle back around and whoever our second rated edge rusher tackle is, we can get that player there. They're set up to do that, and that's huge as a team.
Huge, bro. And it, this is usually how they do like their approach when they can. They do like to knock all their holes out in free agency, knock out the musts, knock out the needs. And then once you get to the draft, you can just, you get your wants, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, going to the mall when you don't really need nothing, man, but you got your little income tax check or whatever, just pick what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's a nice tie. Let me buy that tie. I don't even need a tie. I just want it. It's a nice tie. I'm going to buy it.
I don't even got a job.
I ain't got a suit. I'm going to buy the tie. So that's how they could approach it, man. Like, so it's going to be interesting, bro. Like, really, like, deep. Like, honestly, if you look at the team and the roster, the defensive line is still, it's. I mean, you got Cam Jordan, 32. That's it. And it's like, okay, like they got the defensive tackles, which were nice signings. But look, those have been rotational guys throughout their career. Ascending, they're ascending players, but we really don't have a starter at defensive tackle yet. Like
and that's a lot to ask for an ascending player who's a rotational player to just be like, all right, this is on you. Like, you the dude now. Now,
yeah, you the dude.
I'll say this, and the likelihood is very, very small. But if one of the defensive tackles, whether it's Shepard or whether it's Saunders, could be not to this level, because that would be insane. But like, if you could get like 50%, 60% of what they got from Demario Davis when they signed him at the free agency from the Jets, bro, like that changes a lot of shit.
That would be huge. Like, if they could get some like untapped energy out of these guys, that was some untapped production. Like, that would be a game changer. But it's hard to go into the season expecting
Counting
that.
on that.
So,
yeah.
So I fully expect them to address the D line in some form, whether that's edge or D tackle, in those first couple rounds, whether it's 29 or 40 or whatever. They're going to address that, bro. Like, you already know. You know they're going to address it. It's just all about who, bro. Like, have they learned? Will they pull up? Are they looking at Peyton Turner on Instagram? Are they seeing? Are they seeing? Marcus Davenport fumble himself to the Vikings and saying, "Look, let's reevaluate what we've been doing at edge and make sure we get this right." And find somebody with some good tape, some good athleticism, some good athletic numbers, and go get them. But good tape, man. Just good tape, bro.
I don't stop. Miss me with traits, bro. I don't want to hear shit about traits. I need to see it. See it.
Oh. But it's probably going to be, what's my dude name? Adobawar? Abadabi
the Northwestern guy?
Yeah.
No, he's just double A, bro. No. Just double A. Like a battery, bro. Like double A, bro. Not doing it. Not.
It's going to be him. It's going to be the Army dude, Andre Carter.
Man, I mean, here's the thing, bro. Like, I would love, and I know he didn't test the greatest, but if they wanted to get him like in the third and get other positions in round 1, round 2, but I couldn't see them going the Army guy at 29, bro. Like that.
Please don't.
I couldn't see it. You brought up the point about them reevaluating. I do believe. Well, I don't believe this. This is known that they do want to add an edge rusher in free agency, and I kind of talked about putting the bow on it. So, like, for me, the bow is getting a veteran pass rusher, and maybe like getting someone who, like Foster Moreau, obviously not him, maybe like another tight end, because just like we talked about, they should approach free agency in their team building and not include Adam Troutman in any of the equations, bro. Like, he does not exist. He doesn't.
Don't exist.
You got Juwan Johnson, you got Taysom Hill, or your tight ends. Other than that, couldn't tell you.
This tight end free agency was crazy, bro. Like,
Mike Gesicki got what, $9 million for the Patriots?
$9 million. Dan Schultz got what, $8 million? 1 year. It's like, what happened? There's theories that, since there's such a deep tight end draft, the teams are looking at that. I'm like, man, that's still kind of wild to me. Like, that those dudes, like these dudes was getting franchise tag last year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
and it's kind of like, and I don't know, and this is always tricky when you're a player, and I think I understand of you betting on yourself, but there are some things that sometimes you can't foresee as a player. Like, this free agency is a perfect example of just how the market just cratered, bro. Just like,
even the agents didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the agents are like, damn, we thought you'd get paid. So at this point, just take that 1 year, bro.
And then hopefully you can ball out and and try again next season. But like, I wonder how much, like, what the offers, if they received offers, like the long term offers that Dallas and Miami was offering them last offseason, um, compared to like what they're getting paid on like this 1 year deal. But
I know
anyway,
what I want to ask you. I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on the whole Chauncey Gardner-Johnson thing? Because it seems to be like a lot of revision going on. It's like, well, you see, this proves it. You know, this just proves it all. The Saints were right to get rid of him. He ain't worth that much. They were right to not pay him. They were right to trade him. They were right to. They only got a 5th-round pick. And obviously, that's all he's worth. It's all proves.
It's confirmation bias.
Right.
Like I think a lot. Listen, when he got traded, the first thing that came out 5-10 minutes after he got traded was articles saying that he wasn't a good teammate, kind of validating the reasons why the Saints, aka Dennis Allen, wanted him gone. Gets traded, and for me, my biggest issue about him being traded is him being traded wasn't even a surprise, right? We had talked about potentially him pricing himself out of the Saints range or whatever. We had been talking about it for a while, so that wasn't new. But from the team building aspect, people need to understand that the fact that the Saints only got a 5th still was because it was a trade out of spite. There are people in the league teams in the league did not know he was available and have said that they would have offered more than a 5th if they knew he was available. So like from that aspect alone, it's just bad asset management, right? That was a trade that got emotional. Like it was an emotional trade. So he goes to Philadelphia, has a good season, and then his free agency. But like let's be honest, like CD is not the only person that didn't get traded or didn't get paid this free agency. Like it's been numerous players. And so the article that comes out of like, well, you see, the Eagles was offering him this 3-year deal and he rejected it, and so CD's just dumb and he's not good with money because he's turned down these 2 multiple extension contracts. So again, a lot of people don't know the facts. The contract that, if you want to criticize CD, or just like I was talking about the whole Mike Gesicki and Dalton Schultz thing, if you want to criticize CD for not taking the Saints deal that they had, or that offseason, that's fine. But the Eagles 3-year deal was a lot of heavy incentives, and it was one of those, like, those fluff contracts, I guess is the best way to describe it. The deal he signed with the Lions, that 1-year deal, got him more guaranteed money in that 1-year deal than that 3-year deal would have netted him. So that was just a better, smarter signing. But like you said in the Discord, the worst thing CD did after he got traded to the Eagles was kind of like be like that jilted ex and talk badly about, and I think as fans we would have, and it doesn't bother me either way. I think as fans,
no, I don't care.
If he had bad mouth Dennis Allen, or he had bad mouth like the front office, that would have been one thing. But like him saying like bad, kind of throwing shots at like Marshawn, like that's just like, come on, bro. Like,
man, come on.
You know the talent you was playing with. Like, stop. Right. But again, we've always said it. CD's a player, and the type of personality when he's on your team, you fucking love him. Like you ride or die for him. But she's just like Draymond in the NBA. Like I deal with this. and my girl Jay has said it numerous times. Like she was like, man, if Draymond was on any other team but the Warriors, like I wouldn't stand him. Like he's
Exactly.
he's the bully.
Look, it's like Sean Payton. Like if Sean Payton, imagine Sean Payton was the coach of the Falcons, we would hate, like extreme burning hate. Like you know what I'm saying? Like hate, like he couldn't show up at a restaurant in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? So that's like that's why I'm just like, sometimes it's just the personality. It's what you love him or you hate him. You know what I'm saying? So that whole thing didn't bother me at all. It didn't get under my skin like a lot of people. But once you do that, bro, Saints fans, bro, they done with you, bro. Like they done. It's bad enough you went to the Eagles, you were traded there, but then you talk about it like, we just gonna dog you now. We gonna dog you.
But I get that, but like I think my thing that annoys me is like, man, if you're gonna dog them, like how about the facts right? Like have all the facts right, and if you still want to dog them after you have the facts right, then that's one thing. But like
this would annoy me though. This would annoy me. A lot of people coming out like he's obviously a cancer in the locker room and stuff. And I'm like, then why did the Saints and the Eagles offer him long-term deals?
Hello,
like that's not adding up to me. So he can only get one year deals, but both teams offer him long-term deals. Like, stop it. Like, yes, he's probably annoying as fuck. Like, we know this. Like, he got Mike Thomas to throw hands at him. We know.
I think a great point a friend of mine said was that if he truly was a locker room cancer, and he truly was, here's the thing with CD. He will, like, at times, especially I would say, like, in training camp, and practices are heated, and if he's looking great in training camp, he's going to start barking. He's going to start talking shit, whatever. That's just his nature. But during this free agency, he had coaches like Sean Payton that was interested in bringing him in, Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, who was a defensive coordinator for the Lions. Like, to me, that's more telling than anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like. I trust their opinion of who a player or how a player will be in the locker room and them having the feel for a player than anything. Because if he was truly that bad, Sean, we know Sean. Sean wouldn't even been interested in even signing him for the Broncos. That and I don't know what the Broncos was offering, man. But if you had the CD to that defense, bro,
with Patrick Surtain doing it.
And they still have Simmons, I believe, the safety. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they. That. Anyway, aside from that, though, we're gonna take a little break, take a little pause right here. Hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Ryan, it's time to tell the listeners a secret. The infamous picture of you going viral on social media, sweating in the white shirt, looking confused. What people don't know is before that picture was taken, you had just mowed the lawn in the hot New Orleans heat.
Yep, sweating.
Don't know about you, but if you want to avoid becoming a meme and avoid becoming a viral hit on social media, I think instead of you mowing the lawn, there's a company out there that got you covered. That is Ground Up Landscaping Services. They service the greater New Orleans area. We've seen their work in person at the hashtag Saints for the Podcast meetup. The backyard area was outstanding.
Yeah, we know the owner of this company. He's an outstanding person, a really good dude. And look, I've seen pictures of his work done all around New Orleans. Beautiful work. Everything he takes care of, him and his crew, and he's good, honest, and on time. If you want to visit them, visit www.groundupnola.com, and you get the book a free quote. And these guys are licensed and insured. So this is not some, shade tree, guy to come cut your grass. These are dependable business professionals that will take care of your lawn. And they do beautiful work that you can check out on their Instagram and Facebook. They'll make your garden space spectacular from the ground up.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And we're back. So let's anything else before we move on. We're gonna talk about the Foster Monroe thing and Oshner and all that. But anything else you wanted to hit just in the quick free agency little recap we just did?
No, man. Other than that, like, just the outlook of the division, maybe. I feel like the Falcons are doing pretty good. I thought they did help their defensive line a lot. Their defense overall, I thought they helped. But still, offensively, bro, I have no idea what they're doing. Like, are they riding with Ritter? Like, really?
I think so, bro.
I mean, man, like,
I know.
This is like year three. Like, this is year three of the Arthur Smith, Arthur Brown.
I know,
okay.
And I don't know if these talks were like dead in the water. I know that they were really trying to get Tennessee to trade them Ryan Tannehill, beginning of free agency. Now we're like 2-3 weeks into it now, and I don't know if that's something they're still wanting to do. Maybe that's something that becomes like a draft day trade or what have you. But I mean, if that doesn't work out, like here's the thing. I had a good conversation with a friend about the Falcons, and they were, really talking about all the good moves that they had made. But like my thing I went back to was like, who's a quarterback though? Like yeah, they improved their defensive line, and that was much needed. They brought in Jonnu Smith, and with Arthur Smith, Jonnu Smith's probably going to look better in that offense than Kyle Pitts has. I mean, I'm just saying. So, and got Caden Ellis, got David Onyemata. We'll see how that plays out. They were, funny thing, and this shouldn't surprise anyone, the three final teams that were in the hunt to get to first Marcus Davenport were the Saints, the Vikings, and the Falcons.
Man.
And they sounds like they were pretty close in getting him, and then the Saints were close to locking it up, and then the Vikings came in with that deal, and God bless y'all. So they've improved their defense. They got Jesse Bates. They've made some nice moves to improve their defense, but to me, it all goes back to quarterback. Like, you want to ride with Desmond Ritter and that be it? Like,
I can't. I was at the game he played in the Superdome, and I just don't remember him. I can't remember a play he made. Like, I just don't remember. So, I mean, maybe he turns, maybe he steps it up. I'm just saying. All right, like, why I would be going headstrong at Lamar Jackson, bro? Like, I mean, y'all was in the Deshaun Watson.
Help me understand it, Ryan.
You would give up less for Lamar right now than you would give up for Deshaun Watson.
But
you're going to pay him, you know what I'm saying?
And again, this whole little collusion amongst the owners are like, okay, they did it once, and that that was a one-time thing, but like we're standing tall and not doing that ever again. That's what's essentially what's happening. Now we're hearing like little chatter that maybe the Colts haven't ruled it out. Man, you get Jim Irsay with some perps and some drinks in them, bro. Who knows, bro? With Jim, bro.
You never know.
I'll never forget how they lost that Jazz game, bro. This man put a WWE promo on Carson Wentz, bro. Like,
he was done, bro. Done. Like, I give him credit, bro, because he's a true fan of his team, bro. He is
and I do appreciate that about him, because I wish we had more owners like that. Just to be honest, because like,
Can you imagine if we were owners of the Saints, bro? Like Dennis Allen would have made it to week 2, bro.
bro, I could imagine like if someone like Cat asking me a question about Peyton Turner, I'd be like, yeah, Cat, why isn't he not active? Good question.
It's a good question.
Alex Repo putting pictures on Instagram that this nigga can dunk over the goal in Lambeau. Stand up, bro. We not owners, bro. Anyway, we're talking. Okay, so that was Falcons. Really quickly on the Panthers. There's this just overarching thought that Saints got Derek Carr in the fold. They got all these weapons. They've added. They've improved. Front runners to run the NFC South. And I think you've said it best consistently. It's like, man, it's hard to not think about some of the games we saw last season. It's hard to get those games out of our mind. I was there with Eric. Shout out to Who Dat Homo in San Francisco. Again, this was with Andy Dalton and whatever, but I know that the Saints are completely hoping that Derek Carr's in the fold. The problems we had on offense should be exponentially less. But the Panthers have made a lot of good moves. Now, don't agree about what they traded to get to the number 1 overall pick when they could have just gotten Lamar Jackson, but I digress. But Frank Wright, and this is why the Panthers, I won't say scare me, but like if I'm looking at a team that might be kind of like laying in the cut in the NFC South, man, all the Panthers got to do, bros, they got to hit up. If they hit on that pick, like quarterback at 1 overall, you pair that quarterback with Frank Wright, bro.
Man. Not only that, if they hit, not only for this year, but like the next 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. Yes.
And we'll see. We don't know who it is. Like, a lot of people just assume it's CJ Stroud for some reason.
He was looking good at that pro day, I heard.
I mean, he was, bro. I watched the whole pro day, every throw, bro, and he's just
sicko, bro.
I'm sick, bro. And I don't know. I don't even know why, but I was just like watching. I was just like, man, this dude just throws the ball well, man. Like you can't get around it.
He throws it so effortlessly. He's a much better thrower, I would say, of the football than Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, no question.
I think I personally still prefer Bryce, and the only thing that scares me regarding Bryce is his body and
right.
his frame and all that. But
the question with CJ Stroud is, can he process? Like he was a good processor, but NFL, can he process? And I think he'll get it. I do think he'll get it. But how quickly can he learn to process what he sees and all that stuff? But I mean, you start with throwing. If you're a good thrower, that'll take you places. You know what I'm saying? And you can learn the other stuff as you go along. So I think he'll be fine, man. I don't want the Panthers to take either. Now, Thomas Davis, he was on NFL Network the other day. He seems to think it's going to be Andy Richardson. And he said he doesn't even like Andy Richardson, but he's like, he from what he knows, there are a contingent of people in the Panthers front office that love Andy Richardson. Don't know if that shit true. Don't know if he's just getting fed bullshit or whatever. Who knows? But that was interesting to me. That was interesting.
To me, every year, especially regarding quarterbacks, but like every year in the draft, we have this owner wants player X.
Yeah.
Versus coach and maybe scouts want player Y. Right. And then either sometimes the owner wins, sometimes the coach and the scouts win. And I just get a feeling that this is how it may play out in Carolina. But to me, I'm like, if I'm David Tepper, it's like, all right, I hired Frank Wright to write, no pun intended, to write the ship and everything. I got to trust him his football acumen that he's going to get this quarterback pick right. I got to. That's how I would. That was me, but that's just it's just going to be fascinating to see how that plays out. I'll be in New Orleans. Hopefully, you will be too. Draft night. We got hosted. Got it all.
Already worked it out. Because that's me and Bree anniversary.
That's right.
So I had to work it out, bro. But we good.
Thank you, Mrs. Catboy Wolf. Thank you. Might have to up our party at redacted. Don't want any stragglers to just show up. I heard you guys are having a draft. Fuck you. Patreon and get out. Anyway, let's go into this whole Foster Monroe thing, and then we'll end with the draft. Comes out today. Foster Monroe tweets it out that during routine physical with the Saints, come to find out that he has Hodgkin's lymphoma, he has cancer, he's not playing football, start getting the treatment he needs. So first and foremost, hopefully everything works out for Foster Monroe.
Man, can you imagine that, bro?
Because you're in the NFL, you play with the Raiders, and now potentially you might be signing a pretty nice contract to play for the team that you played college, you went to college for in the same state, and then boom, your whole fucking world comes crashing down, and you're super fucking young, you're
right.
Just so, on one hand, a big shout out to Oshner health staff and everyone, and for finding that out. And I don't even know how they would find that out. They just felt this lymph nodes, and they felt swollen. I don't know, man. I'm not a doctor, but this is the third time in a somewhat short span of the Saints medical staff. You have the trade from the long snapper that they got from the Eagles. Can't remember his name. His first name was John. Can't remember his last name. Boom. They did his physical. He had a heart issue. Had they not found it, he would have died from that heart issue. The heart issue.
He had heart surgery. He had heart surgery after that, bro.
Nick Furley. They basically found out, man, you can't play football no more. You play football you risking your life. And now this thing with Foster Monroe, and it's are they just in the wrong field? Maybe they shouldn't just be in the sports medicine field.
They need to be saving these lives.
Niggas need to be on a triage and shit, but not any sports injury.
Doctors, we need bone doctors and nerve doctors and shit.
Orthopedic doctors and shit. It's crazy because, right? And I guess in the field of medicine, it probably isn't that crazy. But I kind of went through the history a little bit in the Discord. But it's these are maybe not the same doctors, but at least from Oshner, same health facility, same hospital. Oh, Delvin, that's just a bone bruise.
Right.
The bone bruise.
The bone bruise, bro.
They x-rayed that shit twice and told him the same thing. It's the bone bruise.
Look, man, the medical field is extremely specialized now.
It is.
It's not like a jack of all trades where, well, he's a doctor. He should be able to tell. No, some doctors know the cardiovascular system extremely well, but they might not understand certain other things, or the brain, or you might, the back or the stomach, or, whatever. It's very specialized. So I have no idea how they have it, organized, what type of doctors they have on the field, stuff like that. I've heard of the doctor that they do have on staff, and he's extremely well respected among his peers or whatever. But man, just some of the other stuff, bro. If you find that I'm about to die, I believe you. But if you find man, you good, bro. You can go ahead and start playing. I'm gonna be I'm gonna get another second opinion on that one, bro.
Well, and it wasn't meant to be funny, bro, but when Dash in our Discord said Foster Monroe might want to get a second opinion,
everybody was thinking that, bro. Everybody was
right, but he just had the balls to say it, and Luke was like, yeah, that might just be a sunburn, bro. Like, you might want to get that. Just don't. But like, it's crazy how, and one of the things, it's kind of it's not annoying that they found it and they were right, but what's been annoying today is like this media like explosion, like, oh, the milk staff is just so
bro. Like giving them all their flowers and shit.
What?
Like, can we talk about Jameis Winston? Can we talk about Michael Thomas? Can we talk,
bro?
Delvin, bro.
AK, you had AK and Jarvis. I know you guys had some injuries. Well, let's put you on an 8-hour flight. And maybe that wasn't a doctor thing. That could just be a dumb like team thing or whatever. But that probably was the news is great. I hope if the diagnosis of Hopkins lymphoma is legit, I hope Fox Monroe gets all the treatment that he needs, and he makes a speedy recovery. He beats that shit. And I was just like, man, I don't want to start enabling this medical staff too much. Like the media was like, all the tweets was coming out, and it's just like,
Adam Schefter was like, man, Saints medical staff does it again.
All right, HIPAA violators. Only reason I see his tweets is because he's not blocked from the podcast Twitter account. Like my personal one, bro. No, blocked. Anyway, let's wrap up really quick. Talk about the draft. So the draft is what, a month and 5 days away. If you are a Patreon and you will be in New Orleans, please either DM me, DM Ryan, say something to us in the Discord. We do have a RSVP for Patreons only for our draft party get together. We have people coming over from the UK. It's also the same week as Jazz Fest. So bomb ass week. You can hang out with us for day or round one of the draft. We're excited about it. But as things gets closer, draft season is creeping up upon us, and don't worry, me and Jay got you guys covered. We're gonna do our prospect matching within the next couple of weeks. And if you're not familiar with that, that's where we essentially compile all the draft picks the Saints have made since 2006 and all their athletic profile, 40 times shuttle, 3-cone, and then we come up with that part's easy because we already have like the mean already set up, right? The only thing we need to do is add the players that they drafted last year, and then we do the means and averages for all that. And then what we then do is pull up the shuttle, 40, height, weight, blah, 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 of all the prospects in this upcoming draft class, and then match the measurables to what the Saints profile is that they drafted historically since 2006. And it gives you a good idea of what players that the Saints potentially are going to draft because of their, the Saints they're not just Saints, but like they have this profile that they are liked for certain positions, and if you're in that profile, you're likely to be drafted. And I'll be honest, the last 2 years we've done it at least 80 to almost 85% of the players who got matched in the prospect matching ended up players that they ended up drafting, which is wild. So that's a huge indicator. It's not perfect, right? Because sometimes we'll have a player like Charles Cross from last year who blew, like, as an offensive tackle, his measurables were through the roof. It was insane. And so he was an outlier. So he doesn't get matched because he's such an outlier. Same thing happened with the edge rusher, Owe Uefe from Penn State a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Complete outlier. But It's a fun experiment. We do it. We've been doing it the last 2 seasons or last 2 years. We're going to do it the next couple of weeks. I know you've watched a handful of prospects. I've watched like maybe 3, maybe 4. But what do you want to see them? We usually do an episode where we do like the mock draft simulator, and we're going to do an episode like that in April. We're going to talk to Tony Pauline in a couple of weeks and really try to get some news out of him. But like, what do you want to see them do in the draft?
You know, I really have not developed like a player that I love in this draft, because like all of these players have kind of holes. You know what I'm saying? Like there's really no clean players, and we're picking so late. You just gotta like focus on what they do well that would really help your team. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at like Will McDonald out of Iowa. He's a solid edge rusher, but I saw him like do nothing against USC, bro. Like he was completely nothing, like nothing. So it's like every player I can look at, I'm like, ooh, this is nice, but then I'm like, damn. So it's gonna be a tough one, bro. This draft is gonna be one of the ones where they just have to get, as best as possible. That's why, if you can get a player like Mayer from Notre Dame,
Give me
at 29, like that. I just think like how much would this impact my team? Like a player like that, man. Think what he does for your run blocking. Think what he does for your pass protection. Think what he does in your pass, catching. Like that impacts your offense, bro. Like that really, like what you be able to do with Jawan Johnson split out. Oh man, you could do so much.
You unlock so much more offensively. I don't think I have got. If I do have a guy, and this is strictly based, and it's gonna sound silly as hell. This is strictly based on me watching prospects in depth last year, and I watched so much of the Notre Dame offense for whatever reason. I don't know because I was scouting someone defensively, and I just couldn't. 87 from fucking Notre Dame was just making plays all over the field, bro. Every fucking Notre Dame cut up I watched, and I wasn't even trying to watch him. I was like, this tight end is good. Like, damn. Like, so for me, it's kind of like not to the same degree, but kind of like Chris Olave. But I remember watching him not last year at his last year at Ohio State, like 2 seasons ago, right? And it was just like, damn, he's good. And then the Saints ended up drafting him. So if I would pick 2 players. It would be Michael Meyer. Is it Mayer? Meyer? Whatever. Get the hand, the Mayer. Get the handsome fucker. Bring him here. Or I would really like them. I don't know if he's going to fall to 29. I know he ran a 4.5 at his pro day today, but he had an exceptional 3-cone and exceptional shuttle at the combine. Ohio State wide receiver Jackson Smith, Ajidba.
Oh yeah.
He did not have a great season last year at Ohio State. He got injured, and maybe he was just doing one of those things where he's like, you know what, man, like I'm just gonna protect my body. Like I'm not gonna put out there like that. And I know some teams, turn their nose up to that. But it may sound weird that I'm picking 2 offensive players because they do have holes defensively at edge. They do have holes defensive end. But for me, this is an offensive driven league.
Yeah.
And you got to score points. And there were so many times last season where like there was just no hope that points were going to be scored, bro. Like it just felt dire. Like if we were down 14, we were like, oh shit, this bitch is over,
bro.
And it's just in today's age of football and how the game is played, give your quarterback, and the Saints quarterback is Derek Carr. Regardless of what you feel about him, that's the dude going forward for at least the next 2 seasons. Give him weapons to help him succeed. So go get him a tight end that you can pair with Jawan Johnson. And like Ryan just said, that tight end can be used to help on the offensive line. in the run game, or even in time to time pass protection, or you get a wide receiver like Smith the Jigba, then we can't talk about shit about we need wide receivers for a long time, bro. We have Chris Olave, we have Jackson Jigba,
Right.
Shaheed, man.
And look, like even though they bring Mike Thomas back, it's only for a year.
Yeah.
So it's like they need an heir apparent to kind of grow with Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Olave, Tillman from Tennessee, the wide receiver Tillman, Cedric Tillman, name. Good, like Cedric Tillman, like a big body wide receiver. His tape last year was good, not great. He was coming off an injury, so only played a couple of games. But he came back like end of the season and was productive. And his season before that, man, he was a dog, bro. Like he was a dog. I would love him with the Saints. Probably not at 29, but I wouldn't mind him taking him at 40. He's one of the few big body guys that could come in and just kind of be like like he would just fit right into the offense. Like just the more weapons you can give Derek Carr, bro, it will make such a difference because that's what matters. Like at the end of the day, like if you look back, even with when we had Drew Brees, and you look back at them playoffs games we lost, bro. Like by the time we get to the postseason, like our offenses were just obliterated, bro, by injury, attrition, and the fact that Sean Payton had kind of, didn't address the offensive skill position for years. You know what I'm saying? And it wound up hurting once it got to the postseason. And plus other things, other things happen. But I fault a lot of that to the offensive skill position, bro. Like he didn't have those dogs to really go out and just dominate, because teams knew, man, let's take away AK, let's double up my MT, and we good.
Toast it, bro.
We'll figure out the rest.
And it worked, unfortunately.
It worked.
I look at it like this. Yes, you can try to draft a defensive player, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't if there's like a really good one there at 29, because I do expect some fall off from the defense, but I would try. My weird football mind was like, okay, if my defense takes a step or two back, but who knows? I still think. Let me word this right. It made the Marshawn and Alante combo. We haven't seen it yet, but I really do think that combo at cornerback 1 and cornerback 2 is going to be really good.
Yeah.
But again, it all goes back to pressure, and and the pressure needs to marry up with the coverage and all that.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, if my defense takes a notch or two back, then at that point it's like, fuck it, I'm trying to outscore you. And this is how I think. I know because of Dennis Allen, he's a defensive-minded head coach. That is not how he sees things. He kind of probably sees things like, okay, we got Jamal Williams, we got the quarterback. Now we can run the offense I want to run and conservative and kind of have the guys and horses to do so, and we can win a lot of muster out a lot of games basically and win, which is fine, I guess if that, but like just go get good players, and I really feel like shit. Just go try to outscore teams, even if the defense takes a step back. But if the offense from last season takes multiple steps forward, even if the defense takes a step or two back, that should at least still put you in contention to be a good football team, if not a playoff team.
No question.
At the very least.
No question. And look, I hope a better offense makes DA and makes Pete Carmichael better coaches. Because that does happen. Like it does happen in the league where you get. Well, because it's still a player-driven league at the end of the day. And when you get good players, man, sometimes they can make coaches better. Like you saw that with Burrow with Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Like Zach,
absolutely, man.
Zach, what's his name? The coach
still don't know his name. Was in the Super Bowl, but yeah, he
wouldn't recognize him in
cooking.
Walmart, bro. Wouldn't recognize him in Walmart. He became a better coach. Like Burrow made him a better coach, but he got the time and the patience to see, like, man, I got a good ass quarterback, bro. Let me cook a little bit. Let me go deep, dig deep, and make sure I'm doing right by this quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So there is a possibility. It's slim, but there's a possibility that if they could get good play out of Derek Carr and this offense, that DA might see the light a little bit and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go for it on 4th down, man. Let me see what we got here, you know? Let me let Pete cook a little bit. Let me take the chain off of Pete and say, Pete, man, go steal a play. Go steal a play from Andy Reid. Go steal a play from Andy Reid. Go steal a play from, Ben Johnson or something, man, and cook us up something this week, instead of playing it so close to the vest. So that's what I hope. Maybe it's a dream. It's a pipe dream. Probably a pipe dream. But, maybe it happens, bro. Maybe.
I'm laughing, but like I hear where you're coming from, and I hope so, man. Because if they're going to be good, even if they're not good, we've said it numerous times, can y'all just be entertaining? Like,
just fun, man. Just fun.
If they won 6, 7, 8 games next season, but like Derek Carr's thinking that bitch around, and like you got Chris Olave and catching bombs, and Michael Mock. Why do I call him Michael? I feel like that's gonna be his nickname. Just Michael Mock, bro.
What's crazy? What's crazy is, bro, like I want Saints to be good so the Zooms could be fired. Like I'm looking forward to the games, these Zooms. If the Saints balling, oh man, we haven't witnessed that.
Yeah, and like the closest was what, week 1?
That's
the
it.
Second half? That was it.
That's it, bro.
And we was acting the fool in that bitch.
Acting a fool, man.
But it just want entertainment, man, and please don't fuck this up, Saints. Like, and I think a good thing of how I've been a draft agnostic this draft season.
Smart.
Is if they drafted someone, like I used to have my list of players I would want them draft, my draft base, and I would have my list of players I would be just pissed that they would draft. I don't have that list, Ryan. Like I don't have a list.
Beautiful, bro.
It's unheard of for me. But it feels good because it's like people like Joe Goodberry on whatever on Twitter had posted the clip of Michael Mayer, and you retweeted it, and I quote tweeted it. People were like, I mentioned, Darnell Washington actually. Like, shut up! Like, I don't
shut up.
The players, like, what? Stop! I don't care.
Yes. Okay, you want to get him? Yes.
I'm not, man. It's like us as man. We're not hard to please. We're very simple fucking creatures.
Very simple.
I feel like in the draft, just figure it out. Just go get a good player that if I go on YouTube after that player's draft and I type in player X versus and I click, boom, player X versus whatever school. And that little, how they do, the little box they put around the player, offense, defense, and that player just makes plays consistently over and over again. I'm like,
okay.
Yep, okay, cool. But like, if I'm pulling that shit up and it's like we looking at like after Davenport and Peyton Turner was drafted, and we just like, okay, what, huh? What? Like we just squinting, like we squinting, like okay, no, don't sit. I want to see
Kamara. Like when they drafted Alvin Kamara, like I didn't know money. I know a lot of people knew about him. I didn't know anything about him. And we drafted him. I was like, okay, we got a running back. Then I looked at him. I was like, ooh, okay. This is new. Like this might be something right here. You know what I'm saying? I love that feeling. And we didn't mention it, but like, man, if they can get a running back, I don't care. Gibbs, Tank, Bijan, kid out Tulane, whatever. I don't care.
Spears.
Go get another running back. Go get it.
Need some juice, man.
Need some juice, baby.
Anyhow, I thought that this was going to be a shorter episode. Actually, turned out to be our longest episode. But I'm glad we did it. We feel like this episode should be able to hold y'all over until next week, until we have something to talk about then. If we do have something to talk about then, we are going to have our annual draft podcast that we do with Tony and Pauline of Pro Football Network, which will be great. Be great to see if we can get Cynthia Freeland on again as draft season approaches. It feels like just yesterday we were just talking to her about last year's draft.
Right.
What is time? But anyhow, thank y'all for listening. I know it's our podcast, and we could do this, but she was never going to hear this unless I play it for her and embarrass her. But I do want to give a shout out to my baby girl Sarah, who turned 13.
13. Happy birthday.
It is a unique feeling being a parent who now has a teenager. She was born a month after I had turned 22. I am now 35. Just to put in context of
time. And the same Super Bowl year, right?
Mm-hmm. She was born in 2010. Man. A month after, not exactly, no, because the Saints won the Super Bowl in February. Yeah, so she won in February, and she was born in March, and so, like I said, 2010, the year for me can ever be topped. But 13, have a teenager, but I'm sure I'm going to play this at some point and embarrass her while we're in the car, or like I'm driving her and her friends somewhere, just completely embarrassing her. Because that's all I have now is being a parent of a teenager. But
that's it.
Happy birthday, belated baby girl. Thank y'all for listening. As always, I know sometimes these episodes go long, but if y'all listen to the whole episode, we appreciate y'all. We understand that it's the off season, so the listening and listeners might be down, but I will give a shout out to our listeners as a whole. That especially I think a lot of it is like the excitement, but a lot of these free agency episodes and the Derek Carr episode was really got done very well, listenership wise. So thank y'all. We'll be back next week. Shout out to our sponsor, Ground Up NOLA. Make sure you check them out on Instagram. Check them out on Facebook.
Hey, I know y'all gonna need them.
Will be needed, absolutely. But I think that covers it all. With that, we're out.
Peace.
Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.